I wanted to record this quick video for you is to say a little bit about a story that happened to me recently. All right, I want to share it with you, and there's a moral to this story, so bear with me while I tell it. Recently, I went to India, and I was going to visit a charity that I support out there, and with some friends that run the charity. And I was with the guys, and they were struggling with Indian bureaucracy, as you do. And they had to register somebody for a visa. And to do that, you had to go to the website. So he was going to the website to register for this visa. And he had all kinds of problems. So I said I would help. And it was an incredibly enlightening experience for me, because there was a problem with this website. And the problem is that you had to upload an image at a particular size, you know, a passport photograph for this visa. And the instructions said you had to upload an image that was 4 inches by 3 inches. Okay, immediately you got a problem, because of course you upload images in pixels. You know, when you scan stuff in, it's a pixel size. So the instructions were really bad. So point one, that there was a problem with the text, the instructional text, the micro copy, if you want. So there was that problem. But also, as I uploaded it, I kind of was working it out. There was also a problem with the underlying code, because every time I uploaded it, it would come back to me and say, no, the image is the wrong size, and it would tell me what size it thought the image was. So I would then adjust it to be smaller or larger, so I knew eventually I would get it right. Except I didn't. And the reason is not only was the microcopy rubbish on the website, but also, right, the code was rubbish. Because the way it had been coded, it wasn't looking at the dimensions and size of the image, it was looking at the metadata. And because I wasn't uploading it with Microsoft Paint, right, it couldn't read the microdata and was throwing back false information. It wasn't throwing back an error. It wasn't telling me that I had to upload it with Microsoft Paint. It was just throwing back random information. So again, the code was bad, the error messages was bad. All right. So it's kind of showing a couple of things about the website. One is how important getting good error messages is. Secondly, how important microcopy is. But there is a broader issue that we know, that we're all pretty good at. But the other issue here is I was trying to do this from rural India. Okay. I didn't have broadband connection. I was doing this over 3G. Okay. And not particularly good 3G at that. In fact, very poor 3G. And it got me thinking about how spoiled we are in the West in terms of the bandwidth that we have. And that over the time that I was in India and all the different websites that I used, I realised how rubbish our websites are in developing countries. How bloated they are, how slow they are. And it's not just that the file sizes are huge, right? It's things like that microcopy and that error was a much bigger deal, right? If that had been at home, it would have been frustrating, but it would have been bearable, because I could just upload another image, see what it was like, try again, etc. And it would be quick and snappy. But because I was doing it over such a slow connection, I was having to wait for the page to refresh the whole time, and it was painfully slow. So what took that whole process of getting that image right took well over an hour of my time, because I would have to upload a new image that would be painfully slow. The page would have to refresh, that was painfully slow. So performance is a huge issue in developing countries, but not just performance in terms of page size, but performance in terms of being very clear about what it is that you want to do. Now, I know what you're saying to yourself. Well, users of my website are not from developing countries. They're not from rural India, Paul. Why do I need to worry about this? Well, the reason that you need to worry about this is because some places, even in the UK, as I am now, or even in the US, can feel like a developing country sometimes. And I'll give you one example in particular: hotels. Hotel Wi-Fi is appallingly slow. And so there are people that are trying to complete tasks, are trying to access your website, are trying to do stuff over hotel Wi-Fi. And so it can be just like they're in a developing country. Or alternatively, they can be using a mobile device with a poor 3G connection. The truth is that we have got lazy as web designers, right? We see the world as a world of broadband, and it is simply not. It's so important that we optimize our sites for performance, that we ensure that the instructions that we give are as clear as possible, that we make completing tasks as simple as possible. Because the worst thing that we can do as web designers, the single worst thing we can do as web designers, is waste people's time. And that is what I want to leave you with for this video. I hope it has inspired you to make your sites just slightly less bloated and slightly easier to use.